How'd you guys come through?
We definitely had to stay disciplined. We were down 10-0. We definitely had to stay disciplined. Our coach kept saying, don't hold your heads down, don't hold your heads down. We just had to stay disciplined and come together as a team.
Shane, a couple of touchdowns for you, including a huge one late in the game there in the fourth quarter with under 4 minutes to go. That put you guys up 35-24, sort of sealed the game there for you guys, gave you guys a nice cushion. Take us through that play right there, jailbreak screen right there. Then you broke free about the 50-yard line and then took it to the house.
Well, our coach basically asked me, he was like, Shane, is the T-screen open? Is the T-screen open? I was like, yeah, it's definitely open. So we just threw the pass to me, Ernie threw the pass to me, and one thing led to another, and I scored.
Back up, man, back up. Back up, go back up.
There you go, let's go, guys.
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
They do not know who he is. They know he is a male, possibly white.
We do have some of our experts still waiting in the wings to help us make sense of what we know. We're going to recap that very press conference that you just watched and you just listened to live in its entirety here. Let's bring them into the conversation yet again. That's national security analyst and expert Hal Kemper and law enforcement analyst and expert David Katz. And gentlemen, that was just extremely difficult to listen to, though we did get a lot of new information, a lot of new details here. Let's just watch some of this video from the scene. This is the first moments we were made aware that a shooting had occurred in Midtown Manhattan today. Okay, I'm going to keep this up. This is from earlier this afternoon. Viewer discretion is advised. So this is what we know, that 5 victims in total were shot. 4 of those victims were shot and killed. The shooter is dead. One of these victims now is fighting for his life. That off-duty NYPD officer, he's an immigrant from Bangladesh. He's 36 years old. He was killed. He was a 3.5-year veteran of the department. He had a wife and 2 children with a 3rd child on the way. Of the victims that were killed in this, 2 of them were males. 1 of them was a female, and then the other injured victim is a male who is fighting for his life right now. The suspect died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I want to put this up here. Take a look at this. Hal Kemper, I'll start with you. We know a lot more information now about this vehicle. And we didn't when we first brought it to our viewers. Skyfox overhead of the scene. We learned that the black BMW there is the suspect's car, that he drove specifically to New York City over the course of 2 days to carry out this attack from Nevada, stopping in Colorado, Nebraska, then New Jersey, getting to the city this afternoon here. So Hal, what more are they going to do with that car?
They're going to look for, they've already found, weapon in the car. They found extra ammunition. They found the gun case, but they're going to be looking at everything. If there's any computer, more to fill out where he was. It sounds like they got a pretty good track record on his trek across country, but they're going to find out a lot of different things. There may be receipts, other things in the vehicle that would be very useful. I have to say that with the FBI being involved, they do some forensic stuff, which is amazing what they will find. And they're going to go through that car completely and try to find out as much as they possibly can. Of course, the big fear is, did he have accomplices? Is there somebody he was talking to online? They're going to look beyond the car and look at all of his electronic media and everything else to try and find, is he connecting anything? Because that's the fear. The fear is there still a threat out there?
So police are getting closer to determining a motive for the mass shooting inside a New York City office building. Officials say a lone gunman killed 4 people, including a police officer. Another man is in critical condition. Surveillance video shows the suspect walking into the building with a high-powered rifle held by his right hand. And several high-profile companies, including Blackstone, the National Football League, have offices there. Mayor Eric Adams told CBS Mornings a short time ago that the suspect may have been targeting the NFL.
He did have a note on him. The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury. The NFL headquarters is located in the building at 345 Park Avenue. From our preliminary investigation, he took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters. Instead, it took him to Rudin Management, and that is where he carried out additional shootings and took the lives of additional employees.
Before we continue, let me just say this, yo. I am so tired of weak-ass men making excuses and blaming everybody else for their trauma. If you are smart enough to recognize that you have problems, if you are smart enough to realize that you have CTE from contact football or from any sport for that matter, then that also means that you should also have the wherewithal to go seek help through counseling. Why is it, again, incumbent upon everyone else to make sure that you get the help that you need? Why aren't you seeking the help that you need? Why aren't you somewhere in a psychiatric ward of your own volition seeking the help that you need? Why is it that everybody else has to suffer because you went through something that you deemed as traumatic? This is weak shit that we're talking about. Weak. These are weak men, weak individuals. And then, of course, at the end of it all, he walks down a hallway and walks into a room and finishes the deed by taking his own life. Maybe you should have started there. Let's start there. Let's start with you taking your own life first. Why do you need to involve everybody else? You're that evil. You're that vindictive. You're that hateful. You're that demonic that you want other people to suffer before you ultimately take yourself up out of here. These are weak men.
A lot of interesting information there. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano joins us now from near the scene. Good morning to you, Lilia. Tell us more about this note and how exactly investigators are trying to retrace the suspect's steps.
Well, Errol, what we are learning this morning, as you heard from Mayor Eric Adams, is that they're getting closer to a motive. That in this note that they found, of course, they have not released the note, some grievances where he may have been blaming the NFL for what he perceived to be CTE, a brain injury. We know about the suspect just from online profiles and videos that he played high school football, and there are some highlights from his high school football career. We don't know how far that went, but we know that he grew up in Southern California, started the journey in Las Vegas where he was. In fact, we saw, which is very interesting given the documented evidence of mental health illness that we heard from the New York City Commissioner yesterday, that despite having mental health issues and well-documented issues, that he had a gun permit, to a concealed firearms permit. And of course, that would have allowed him to buy the weapons, not just the military-style rifle with which he went into this building. You can still see, I don't know if you can see it on my shot because it's a little bit far, but the shattered glass from when he went into the lobby and started shooting. Then, according to Mayor Eric Adams, he may have been wanting to get to the 5th floor where the NFL headquarters were, but got into the wrong elevator, ended up in the 33rd floor, and ended up killing a victim up there in that 33rd floor. He crossed various states. He was in Vegas, he was in Colorado, Nebraska. It all started on Saturday and finally arrived in New York after he was last spotted in New Jersey 2 hours before the shooting. Landed here just before 6:30 p.m., rush hour, broad daylight as it is summer, and just walked into that building and started shooting.
Yeah, there's still a sense of shock in the city. We're within the first 24 hours of this, so all this...
So you dedicated yourself to travel and cross over multiple states, all in order so that you could get to the NFL headquarters office, and then you fail to do that. And once you fail to do that, you just start shooting random people. Yo, there are some evil ass demonic demons running around in broad daylight with us every single day. And I hate the fact that this keeps getting put on the shoulders of mental health. I hate it. Every situation now where we have a mass shooting, that's the first thing that everybody wants to turn to. Oh, there was mental health issues. There was mental health issues. He was just going through so much to where he was a punk ass bitch and he decided that other people needed to die. Said he had a note in his pocket, blamed it on CTE. So he believes that it was the NFL's fault for him. Where's the self-account? Nigga, when you sign up to play football and play in the NFL, you know what you're signing. You know what you're getting into. CTE, injuries, head injuries, all of this stuff is made plain and clear to you. If I know it and I'm not even a football player, how you don't know it? And then after they wreak havoc and cause chaos everywhere, we got to sit by in the aftermath and talk about how his mental health was all fucked up. She just pointed out, why in the world was this dude allowed to have a gun permit when he has documented mental health issues? She said well documented, as in there's been more than one happenstance. There's been more than one occasion of him being documented as having mental problems. Why is somebody like this allowed to have a gun permit?
This information is new, and you wonder if he had mental health issues, how does that square with such premeditation that would be necessary to plan a cross-country trip and do this? So there's so many questions about him. What are we learning about the multiple victims of this shooting?
Well, the first victim who was named by police is NYPD officer Didarul Islam of the 47th Precinct. We know that he had been in the NYPD since 2021, that he is an immigrant from Bangladesh, that he has 2 young sons, and that his wife is pregnant with their 3rd child. We've also learned from Blackstone that one of the victims killed is Wesley Lepotner. I don't want to get the name wrong. Wesley Lepotner. She was an executive with the company. She had worked before that at Goldman Sachs. She was, according to her LinkedIn profile, graduated summa cum laude from Yale University in 2003 and was recently voted in the Board of Trustees of the Met Museum here in New York. The company, Blackstone, described her as somebody who was brilliant, passionate, generous, and deeply respected. We are waiting to confirm other victims. We also know that one of the victims who was not killed but is in stable condition at the hospital is an NFL employee, according to NFL executives.
You know, no matter how you spin this, nobody wakes up, right? Nobody wakes up on any given day and thinks that this is their last day. Right? Nobody wakes up and thinks that, you know what, today is the day that I go into work and I die. Nobody thinks that this is the day that I go into work and I'm never coming home again. My family and friends will mourn me after this day. My kids will be left fatherless or motherless after this day. Nobody wakes up and thinks that there's going to be a crazed gunman that is going to storm into this building, take an elevator up to the 33rd floor, and gun me down before lunchtime. This is tragically sad, and the details will be forthcoming as far as the other victims. But if you could, if you believe in that sort of thing, I would ask that you just lend a prayer out to these families who have to deal with the aftermath of this, because I can't imagine it. It's incredibly tragic and sad and pathetic. The clip you saw at the beginning of this video, where the news reported that it was likely a white gunman. How incredibly ignorant and irresponsible for a news outlet to jump out and throw a race out there, not even having the facts or details. They didn't even wait for him. So what you saw was accurate. That's what they said. And this is why people be like, you can't trust the news to deliver the news. You can't trust news outlets to deliver you accurate news. They're always fucking something up. They always saying some shit they shouldn't say without facts present. But to jump out there and be like, oh yeah, it was a white dude. Based on what? Because he had glasses? Based on what? What do we base this on? I just would love to know the process behind how he was coached before he actually went live and said this shit. Y'all got to be careful where you get your news sources from, yo. That's all. That's all. Prayers to the families who are affected. I hate to say it, but this won't be the last. It's the country we live in. This won't be the last incident that we've seen. This won't be the last mass shooting. It's becoming a staple of our country, believe it or not. And so every day that I go into work and come home, and that my wife goes into work and comes home, and every time that I see my kids' faces, I'm incredibly grateful. Incredibly grateful. Because I understand that all this shit can be gone tomorrow. Live every day like it's your last, y'all. I know it's a saying, but it's one that you should really take to heart. Appreciate you for watching. Drop a comment down below if you so choose. And I'll stay updated on this. And as I am, I will inform you all as well. Appreciate you for watching. Talk to y'all later.